Do it. Let me see you do it. Left. Do it. Right. Do it. Do it.
Alright. It's a great intro, by the way. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Clouded Thoughts Podcast. Of course, I'm Deem.
And I'm Ryan.
We're back again with another episode. This episode is going to look a little different. You know, we're going to add something new to the show this season.
For sure.
Excited for it. We discussed it. We feel like you guys are going to enjoy it as well. But before we get into that, of course, got to ask you, bro, you're blessed? How you doing today, man? How you doing?
Yo, blessed and highly favored. I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't nothing to it, but I'm feeling good. What about yourself?
I'm alright, man. I'm alright. I had a little midday nap today, so I'm pretty
So
solid.
you energized then?
I'm energized, bro.
You
I
good.
needed it. I needed it today. It was something that was
You went to the gym
on my
today?
mind. Yeah.
There
That's
you
probably
go.
why. That's
There
probably
you go.
why. But nah, man. So this episode, we're gonna introduce you guys to some new segments.
Yes,
We're gonna
sir.
throw in some segments. Get some more discussion flowing. Try to get you guys more involved, more engaged, of course, too. But most importantly, we're gonna try to talk on things that are current right now,
Mm-hmm.
and about our lives some more too. But really dive into some men's mental health and the reason why us men do the things we do.
I like the sound of that.
I'm
I
saying.
hope y'all do
So,
too.
First off the rip, we gotta obviously tap into social media. That's the first thing we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring you guys something that we found on social media to be very, very interesting and intriguing.
I'll pull that up.
Go ahead, man.
What about trauma? Essentially, you're finding an excuse for the way you are, which you yourself don't like. See, if something unpleasant happened to you, you have two choices. Either you can become wise or you can become wounded. Choose. More unpleasant things happen to you than anybody else. You must be the wisest man soonest. No, you choose to be wounded because you carry this wound like a badge and so that you can cause the same wound to others. What's the point? When you know the pain of it, how do you do the same thing to me?
I'm not gonna lie, when you sent me that,
Mm-hmm.
instantly it started to think about some trauma that I may went through in the past. And some wounds that I have personally. So
I'm gonna drop one that came to mind off rip when I seen that. Like after I watched the whole thing.
yeah. My fault though, but first tap into the audience so they have an idea what we're discussing about.
Pretty much what that video explains is you guys will see. It's talking about trauma and how we let traumatic experiences kind of define who we are,
Mm-hmm.
and how we let it get the best of us in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I know for everybody it is different. Everybody has their own, traumatic experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens to all of us, right? But sometimes we just don't know how to cope with it, or we haven't found a healthy way to deal with that matter. So I'll say this, kudos to us to trying to deal with it in the best way we know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think over time it's just one of those things where you got to find a way to get past it, and find ways to just cope with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, the first thing that actually came to my mind was hurt people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the video he was basically explaining that you know what that pain feels like. Why are you gonna do something to me that's gonna make me feel that same type of pain?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times I think even with what I said, when hurt people is because we're trying to find the best way to cope with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where you just become kind of selfish
Mm-hmm.
and kind of ride with it that way.
Yeah, I think when we're going through any sort of trauma, right? Especially, if I'm be honest, especially us men, right? We tend to talk amongst the group of us,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And I know you probably heard this saying, but misery loves company.
Oh, absolutely.
So when we're
think
going,
we can all attest
we
to
can all
that.
attest to that. So when we're going through it, we feel as if the best way to cope with that right, is to tell our dogs,
Yeah,
right? Talk to our dogs about it. They can help me get through it. Or,
for sure.
you know, they might be going through something that, you know, I'm going through too. Might be going through something similar.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. However, the healing doesn't really start until you do the inner work yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of patience. Right?
Key. Very much
Very
so.
key. And it takes a lot of accountability that I think a lot of us men don't like to do. Right? And because of that, sometimes we don't really get to start on the healing. We don't really get to start on the healing process the way we should. Right? And like you said, and we've talked about this many times too, healing is a journey. It is not a one-time thing.
Yeah.
It is not a weekly, monthly thing. It is a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like a lot of us feel if we don't heal right away, then we're not going to be able to heal in general, which honestly isn't really truthful, to be honest.
Yeah, no. I kind of like I agree. Especially like with the healing part. I think you have to dig a lot deeper, and that's something I kind of experienced myself last year, as I told you. When I started like therapy and whatnot, that I feel like within that conversations that I was having with my therapist, it was a lot of me venting, but also it's forcing you to think deeper to why you behave the way you behave, and also why you do the things you do, pretty much, right? So
if you don't mind me asking, right, what conclusions did you come to with that? Like, why do you think you behave the way you do in terms of any sort of trauma that you might have?
Well, one thing that we came to the conclusion of was like growing up, I was always like, I always heard no. No. Sometimes there was no reason, like I didn't get an explanation behind it.
Yeah.
It was just no. So I got so accustomed to hearing no to the point where I would just like isolate myself and I would shut down, and it would stop me from opening up.
Yeah.
Because in a sense it was, who cares what I have to say, in a sense, right? Now I feel like it would be different if, you know, somewhere down the line I got explanations to why there was that no, right? But there really wasn't. So
I'm glad you said that, because I think a big portion of that video and definitely what you just said could be childhood trauma.
Yeah, no, for
There's
sure.
a lot of childhood trauma within us, especially us men, because we don't talk about it. I know for myself, I went through it, right? Because, you know, you've been in my house a lot.
Yeah.
You know, me and my dad had a rough patch for a little while.
Yeah.
Right? And I think growing up, especially in my household, my parents, you know, they guided me the right way, the perfect way that I feel like they could have.
Yeah.
But then as you grow up, you start to understand, like, all right, I'm becoming a different person.
Yeah.
Right? I went away to school, came back home during COVID, and of course during that time frame, it was a matter of like, all right, I'm trying to show you guys who I am, but then you guys also think I am the little boy that you guys raised, even though I've changed. And I think between those two instances, there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
And that caused, you know, some arguments, some differences, however it may be, right? But in hindsight, they raised me the best way they could.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And anything they gave to me, right, I have to heal myself.
Yeah.
I can't blame them for it. At some point, you become an age where you have to heal from your childhood trauma yourself. Right? I know we've talked about that in the very, very first season.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that's one thing that we struggle with sometimes, is we blame other people for some of the trauma that we might go through, including childhood trauma. And it is on us to heal from that.
Yeah.
Like it's doing the inner work, right, in order to push through that. And
Yeah.
it's difficult, bro. It's difficult. There's going to be arguments with your parents, man. There's going to be situations where, you know, you're going to feel they are misunderstanding you, or they don't know who you are. Like it's bound to happen. I think we all go through it at some point, right? So
Because like you said, they raise us to the best of their abilities and what they know. And obviously it's one of those things that is just like, in a sense, it's passed down from generation to generation, right? But at some point, you gotta be the one to break it.
You do.
And say, yo, for my family, moving forward, I want to do things different, or I want to be more of a opening air. I want to give more explanation to why, so they can see a perspective of where you're coming from.
Of course, perspective,
Yeah.
man. So like, even let's stick on the childhood trauma for a little bit, because I feel like that's a big portion of, you know, the healing process for us as men. It's like, especially at our age right now. What are some ways that you felt that along that journey so far, right, has helped you? Like, what have you done?
I would say as of recently, when it comes to just like expressing emotions, I tend to journal now. So if I'm feeling overwhelmed with stuff, or like my mind is just clouded, no pun intended, I just open my journal and I start writing down what I'm feeling, whatever my thoughts are. It honestly, and it could just be anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense, but I'm writing it down.
Let's get it out.
Just to get it out. And then I think, you know, just taking away what I have from therapy so far, just like practicing certain things, and speaking like good things into my life, you know. So that's what's been helping me personally, and yeah, just keeping my mind positive.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. I think journaling is a huge tool that can be used for a lot of people.
For sure.
Just getting it out on paper and seeing it visually can help in so many different ways, instead of just having it, you know, sit in your head.
Bottled up in your head, or
yeah.
Because as you know, we tend to hold on to things and then lash out. So I feel like if we, you know, note that down, trust me, it'll do you justice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I started journaling for a little bit, but I'm not too good at it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's one of those. You have to work your way into it.
Yeah.
I would be lying if I said I journal every day, but
you journal when you can, I guess.
I feel like I've got to the point where I journal when I feel like there's a lot.
Oh, when it's a lot of like pent up. That makes sense. Yeah, journaling is definitely a good one. I know for myself, sometimes I meditate early in the morning or even late at night. And you know what's a big one too? I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a tool too, but everyone should do this regardless, but a nice hot shower can do the trick. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm opposite, I go cold showers.
You are, we had this discussion. A nice hot shower, bro, just to ease your mind a little bit.
I feel like the hot showers, they'll relax
especially in the cold right now in Canada.
Yeah, I don't know, the cold showers.
Wait, you take cold showers in the wintertime, bro? 100%. There's no way you do that, bro.
Yo, listen, I don't stand in there for like, 6 minutes straight cold. But
so yo, hold up. So you go outside after a long day outside in the cold.
Yeah.
Right? You come home. It's -14 outside. Yeah. You come home. You want to take a shower. You want to clean yourself off. You want to relax at the same time. You turn your shower hot or cold? I
start off like kind of like a lukewarm. Not just like not cold off rip, and then
you go to slowly
turn the knob, and then
that's outrageous.
When the cold water hits you and you start to tense up, you kind of just like I'll say this, when you're under that type of temperature, it's allowing you to focus on your breathing. So in a sense, it's a soothing thing and it's calming as well, because now you're just focused on one thing. Your body's going through that chill, that cold, but
it's probably a science to this.
Look at it like this: when you jump in a pool, off rip, you're out in the sun, you jump in the pool. What's the first thing you do?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a good thing though.
No, but that's what the cold shower is supposed to do. It's supposed to help you, just like. For me, it kind of just helps me focus on my breathing.
Teach his own, bro.
But that's like, honestly,
I come outside
there's a lot of benefits to it.
Yeah.
But I know for me, when I'm under that cold water, it's just like, I'm focused on my breathing, and that's it.
If I come outside from the cold, bro, there is no way I'm turning.
But you're not gonna come from outside and just jump straight in the shower.
Obviously, my Duke's taught me, like, when you come inside from the cold, you gotta relax a little bit, let your body get to room temperature, and then you gotta take your hot shower, or else you can get in the shower, turn it hot, and your heart could stop for some reason. I've heard that has happened before to people, but interesting, bro. I didn't know that.
Yeah, cold showers for me though.
Cold showers, but back to that social media clip.
And hold up, for anybody that takes cold showers, I know you know what I mean. it does justice.
It does justice. Okay, if you say so, bro, I'll try it one day. Hopefully, I don't know about right now, Nicole.
You got it though. You got it. Trust me.
But nah, that clip spoke volumes, man. Because like I said, misery, breeds and brings likes company. So us going through that trauma, we definitely like bringing others along. However, it is up to us. Like he said, we have two choices, bro. You can either heal from what you're going through, or you can use it as an excuse.
And just to finish that off with what I said with hurt people, when I said hurt people. At that time, I feel like it's best to be alone and kind of keep to yourself, right? Because I can say myself, like when I was hurt, I've hurt people along the way. And it's not to say it was my intentions, but like I said, that's how I was coping with things. And in the long run, it didn't do anything for me because I was just building up more bad habits and putting trauma on other people.
Yeah.
For them to go heal. So
yeah,
I would say the best thing to do is kind of stay to yourself and kind of figure out what you have to do. Speak with your friends, of course. I'm not saying like isolate yourself from the world and put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind like what you could do to other people if you're not fully healed, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can hurt a lot of people, man.
Yeah,
it happens to the best of us, but it's part of life, unfortunately, man. Not everyone can deal with trauma. Not everyone deals with it the same way.
Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, along the way, you might hurt some people. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you gotta learn from those mistakes and hold yourself accountable, like I said.
Yeah.
Right. And make sure that you make the right changes within yourself in order to become a better you.
For sure.
For real. But next segment. That segment was good. The social media segment. I like that. But you already tapped into the next segment, and I really wanted to ask you about this last episode.
Okay.
But I didn't get a chance to. So, right, what I wanted to ask was, there's a lot of men out there, right, some that we might even know, that may want to seek therapy, but feel as if they do, they're going to be a weaker man, right? Or they might see it as weak, or they don't want to be as vulnerable and, express themselves to someone else that might not be within their family or someone they don't know, right?
I'll say this.
Wait.
Yeah, my fault.
Wait, I like it though. You have an answer already though. What would be your advice to those men that might want to seek out help, right, but don't know how to go about it, or might feel as if I don't want to do this because I don't want to be vulnerable like that. I don't want to be the weak man by doing this, even though I don't think going to therapy is weak at all. What's some advice you'd have for them?
To that, I would say first things first. In this lifetime, I think everybody wants to be the best person that they can be, right? That's what we strive for. We strive for greatness. We strive to be better than we were the day before. Now, as you see along the road, you're gonna hit road bumps. Sometimes these road bumps are hard to get over on your own, right? And you could go through years of just trying to get over certain things. And as we spoke about in the last episode, like, breaking bad habits and stuff like that, and being accountable and stuff. I would say if you want to see yourself progress and also be the best that you can, therapy is going to allow you to do that, right? And I get it. Sometimes you don't want to open up to just like a random person. But in a sense, I don't look at it like just a random person. These are professionals, right? We go to the doctor when we're sick. We don't try to diagnose ourselves, and even if we do, chances are we still end up at the doctor.
Don't Google WebMD.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Don't do it.
You go on WebMD and you think you know what's wrong with you, but sometimes you gotta take that next step and seek help. And that's what I feel like therapy has done for me. Because even with myself, as you know, I stopped like drinking, smoking, and all that from traumatic experiences. too many fun nights out.
Oh,
But,
bro.
Yeah, exactly. And you know best.
You want to get into that one?
Listen, all I gotta say
We can
is,
be vulnerable, please.
listen, all I gotta say is your house on your birthday,
Brusky.
bathroom floor.
Brusky.
You know, I feel like
Oh my God, bro.
you have one too many of those nights. At least I could say for myself.
Yeah.
I
I have a couple too, man.
Yeah.
We all have those nights.
We all have those, right? But I think for me, it's just like, you know, getting older and realizing the direction I want my life to go in.
Mm-hmm.
I know these things, these vices, are not gonna help me.
It's
Right?
not.
So it's funny, and this is just a side note. Like, even with me going out and being in settings where everybody's drinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it feels kind of weird
Mm-hmm.
because it's so easy for you to say, let me go grab a rum and coke, or let me get a shot of tequila. But now for me, it's let me get a ginger ale. Let me get a ginger ale. I'm good. Or I'll take a glass of water. We're in the club.
If we're in the club, you're gonna order a glass of water?
No, if there's bottles at the booth,
Yeah.
let me get the cranberry juice. Let me get the orange juice.
Alright.
Whatever the chase is, I'll drink the chase.
If we're ever in the club again together,
Listen,
I'm gonna see you be drinking cranberry juice, bro. I hope you are.
you listen.
I hope you are.
You don't know what's in the cup. I know what's in the cup.
Okay, you're right.
Listen.
I'm not gonna watch your cup because that's not my business. But
I'm gonna be holding on to my cranberry juice, and I can sip it slow like everybody else.
good for
know?
you, bro. In the
But-
club, in the booth, drinking cranberry juice.
100%.
I like it.
Well, you know that.
I like that for you.
No hangover in the morning, right?
I like that for you, bro.
Clear head.
Exactly. No,
So,
no clouded thoughts, right?
No clouded thoughts.
No
And I can tell
clouded
everybody.
thoughts.
I can tell everybody what happened the night before.
You're right.
But, yeah, no. Honestly, in regards to therapy, like I said, man, it's just if you want to take that step in, you know, digging deeper and getting over roadblocks and stuff like that. I feel like there's no shame in it, and ultimately you're doing it for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you get ready in the morning, you go shower. You're taking care of yourself. You read books to expand your vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
You're working on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy is the same thing. You're just working on yourself.
Yeah, that's facts.
You go to the gym, you're working on yourself. Everything. So, like I said, therapy just kind of ties into working on yourself.
Yeah.
When you look at it.
Personally, I use a gym for my therapy, but it's definitely something I need to tap into, like I've stated before. I know my sister has mentioned it to me a few times. Like, yo, you ever thought about going to therapy and whatnot? But I've thought about it. I just haven't went along and did it. The reason for that is, honestly, I don't know. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe I should really just tap into it. I don't have a reason. I don't have an excuse. I'm sorry.
Honestly, you can start off slow because I'll say
Yeah.
this, like, with therapy as well, sometimes you won't get the right therapist off it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You might have to talk to a few people, and that's the reality of it. You're gonna have to talk to a few people. Sometimes, if you're lucky and you find that person that you guys kind of click with,
you vibe with
off the jump, then that's perfect. But other times, and this is just me being realistic, right, and giving you it like the raw truth, is that sometimes you're gonna have to speak with a multiple amount of therapists till you find the right one. And once you find that right one, and you start having these conversations, and you see yourself making progress over time, you start to feel a lot better, and you feel like you're taking years of weight off of your shoulders there. So
yeah, I could imagine what that would feel like to be able to just open up and to get all of that off your chest, because I'm sure they dive deeper into what you even think you even know.
Yeah.
Right. They get to little pinpoints in your brain or things that you may have forgotten, and really, kind of not force you, but direct you to what is really the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Which is big, because a lot of us, we really don't know.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this because sometimes you feel like you don't know, but you actually do know. But it's just hearing it from the right person.
True.
Because when you start talking and talking and talking, and your therapist is taking notes, they probably, like, I'm gonna say within 15 minutes of you talking, within the first 5 minutes, they probably already know the problem. But they're just allowing you to let it out.
Yeah.
And then once you don't get whatever you have to say off your chest, they'll just hit you with the, okay, well, I see this is where this is where we had that turn.
Okay, that's tough.
Yeah.
Did they have you lying on that couch with your arms
No.
across your chest?
No, listen, I did therapy. I did therapy through the Zoom call, so
Okay.
I was in the comfort
Alright.
of my house.
Okay,
so.
that's good. That's good. Nah, therapy is any men out there that are thinking about seeking help and going to therapy. I feel like definitely dive into that. You're not weaker, you're stronger if you do it. In my opinion, I haven't done it unfortunately. I will tap in at some point. I don't know. Isn't it expensive?
It is.
That probably might be the thing for me, bro.
It kind of is.
That might be why
I feel like there's
got to be programs or something you could.
there's definitely probably programs out there.
Yeah.
I know even when we went to our men's group, they spoke on some programs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just gotta tap back into that and see where you could get some help at a good cost or even like free help. Kind of start off.
Oh, actually, there is.
Yeah.
There is a free hotline that you can call.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So yeah, we could definitely tap back into that, get that information, and then
that info.
give it out to the audience there. But yeah,
It's dope though, man.
it's definitely worth it, and I don't have any bad things to say about it personally, and this is just off of my experience. So invest in yourself.
It's big. Invest in yourself, man. Definitely
Invest in
need
your
to.
well-being.
Invest in your well-being. All right, we're gonna stick with the Q&A segment though. Something that I realized yesterday actually. So I went to the gym and I was lifting, doing whatever workout I was doing, and there was a guy. I want to say like two benches over.
Yeah.
Right, and I finished my workout. He walked over to me, and he was hinting at me like when I was lifting, I was shaking, saying, AKA the weight was too heavy, and I should have lowered it. Right, and the first thing I thought for some reason was, you're wrong. I know what I'm doing, but I kind of fought that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, you know what? Like, you might be right. Like, let me lower the weight. Lower the weight. Was perfectly fine. Form was good. Everything was great. Right. And I thought to myself after, like, why do we do that? Why do we instantly think the minute someone, for instance, might be trying to help us, especially in the gym, we instantly think, I know what I'm doing. I'm right already. It's like an ego thing. And if you don't know how to tell your ego no, then you might not be able to correct it, and you might even hurt yourself. Right? For instance, I've been watching these different gym videos. I forgot the guy, the content creator. But he dresses up as like a janitor, right? And he's in the gym like mopping and stuff. And he doesn't look like he can lift heavy weights.
Yeah.
Right? And there's people around him lifting heavy weights. So he'll interrupt him a little bit, like, nah, let me just try a little bit. And they'll be like, nah, he can't do it. They'll instantly judge him. Boom, they start lifting it. Surprise him, shock him. Right? But I'm just like, in my head, why is it that we automatically have our ego kick in situations like that? What do you think it is? Like for me, I'm glad I caught myself, because if I stayed the weight I was lifting, I probably would hurt myself.
I think you already said it. It's literally ego.
It's the ego.
I think we're always trying to prove a point.
See,
and sometimes it's for the wrong reasons.
I know for myself, it stems from childhood trauma, because growing up, I'm always seen as the younger kid, the younger son.
So nobody listens to you.
No one listens. Or back then they didn't listen. So I always had to be like, I have to prove you guys that I'm right. Right? If you guys aren't gonna hear me, I'm gonna show you that I'm right.
Yeah.
Right? And even if you think you are, I'm gonna prove I still am. Right? I wanna be heard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that was where it stemmed from for me, but I don't know, bro. It's just I've
honestly
seen it multiple times.
I really think it's ego. And I wanna say a lot of people will do things just to say, told you I could do it.
Yeah. Prove people wrong.
But what's the satisfaction out of that? Other than letting someone know, like, yeah, I could do it.
Don't get me wrong, though. In some instances, like, for instance, if you're playing sports and people are doubting you, you might hear the chitter.
Yeah, I mean,
you might use that as fuel.
To better yourself. But sometimes I feel like ego, if it's not kept in check, that's when it can hurt you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you knowing you physically can't do something,
Mm-hmm.
but because there's a crowd watching and you feel that pressure, it's like, I gotta do it. No, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, had you kept that weight on, you could have hurt yourself. Versus, okay, how about I just put a bit more? How about I just do a little bit more reps
Mm-hmm.
with a lighter weight,
Mm-hmm.
and then build myself up to whatever it was you were trying to lift. And then now I'm doing that with ease, right? So at the end of the day, you could just do the work when nobody's looking,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you get to that point, who knows, you might run into that guy in the gym again. He goes, bro, I see you're getting stronger.
Yeah.
Last time I told you to lower the weight, now you're doing the weight that I told you to take off,
Yeah.
and it looks like it looks easy for you now, right?
Yeah.
So ego can be good and bad, but you got to
Yeah.
keep it in check.
Because I definitely, after you told me that, I definitely like walked by him again and say, "Oh, like respect, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. You didn't even have to tell me that. You could have
Yeah.
just watched me struggle,
Exactly.
right? And not say anything. I'm like, yo, I appreciate you.
But I think
sharing that.
Also in the gym, it's like, I don't know, the gym would be a very sensitive place.
It's a very sensitive place
When it comes
man.
to helping people, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I even see people doing things, and you know me, like,
And
I
it's
work
iffy.
out here and there, but you know,
Barely.
one thing.
Bro, let's keep it stacked. Barely.
Listen, I work out here and there, but I know when, like, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. When it comes to working out, you never want to sacrifice form,
You don't.
ever.
You don't. And that's the thing. I really wasn't until like, I want to say I was doing 10 reps
Mhm.
until like the 6th, 7th rep.
Mm-hmm.
Because when my body started to like sway and jerk.
Yeah.
So that's when you mention it. But you don't.
Yeah, so for me, I rather take that talking from somebody and, you know, fix that versus damage myself in the long run.
If you personally see a man in the gym struggling,
Yeah.
are you gonna say something? Knowing that we have an understanding how some men's ego are you saying something?
I'm gonna be honest.
be real with yourself. That's a no. You're not saying anything.
Sorry, watch this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put it like this. Yo, if the guy's bigger than me, I'm gonna take it for what it is. I'm like, homie, you probably know what you're doing. I'm like, yo, don't let me get in the way.
So only if
I feel like I see somebody.
But then that goes back to the video I was talking about though. The man doesn't look like he's bigger than everybody else, but he
Yeah.
lifts more than everyone else.
Yeah.
So you can't really judge a book by its cover.
You can, but you know, we're gonna do it. And that's the reality. We do it even when unintentionally. We do
We
it.
do it unintentionally though.
But yeah, I would honestly, I feel like depending on the situation and who it was, like if I've been in the gym before and I've seen people like doing like the tricep pull downs,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, the way you're doing that, you're doing it way too fast.
Yeah.
So I told him like, yo, you just want to go at a slower motion and just really focus
Yeah. I hear you.
on like contracting certain muscles while
Yeah.
you're, you know, so little pointers here and there, but
Or if I see a man on a machine trying to look like Spider-Man, bro, I'm like, yo, bro.
yeah, like I'll say this: if I see,
By the way, there's a TikTok like that, by the way.
if I see a guy like struggling to, guy or girl, to be honest, if I see them struggling, like let's say they're doing bench presses, and I see them struggling to, you know, lock it back in.
Yeah,
If I'm around, like I'm gonna go help, or at least I'm gonna stand by near just in case, right? Because a lot of people, and that's also the thing. A lot of people stand by and just watch, but then, like I said, the gym is a sensitive spot because that goes back to that ego where it's like, no, I got it. I didn't ask for your help, right?
We all need help sometimes, man. Even the strongest of lifters have people spotting them.
Exactly. So
it happens. It happens.
take it as you will.
Take it as you will, man. All right, another Q&A question, bro. Do you ever have a feeling of pressure for any particular reason, or maybe no reason at all? So, as a man, do you ever just feel like this weight on you, like you have to be successful, or the fear of not being successful, and you feel like there's a pressure within it? Yeah, it's a deep question.
I want to say, yeah, there is that pressure.
Yeah.
I think it's also pressure from society.
Mm-hmm.
and when it comes to how we view what a man's supposed to be.
Let's get into it. What is a man? Let's see this one.
You know those ones?
What do you define a man as?
I feel like there's so many ways to define what a man is, but I feel like when I guess it depends on like the point of view you're looking from, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say in this day and age, a lot of people look at a man as somebody. I look at as a man as someone that's a provider, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean he's able to provide for himself and his family. Not saying he doesn't need support, because everybody needs support.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess being able to handle like a chunk of certain things, you know. I know these days we're always on the topic of man should be making 6 figures, or a woman cannot be with a man that doesn't make 6 figures. And honestly, I don't feel like that's the truth.
Not everyone agrees with that statement, but
the reason I don't agree with it is because before we even got to where we are with this 6-figure talk, when we look at, I guess, relationships from the past, I feel like relationships from the past were built off of like genuine love, right? I think now it's built off of material. It's what can you do for me versus what I can do for you,
right? What we can build together.
Or what we can build together, exactly. So ultimately, I think it's being able to provide, and just having certain things instilled. Like, everybody has their values.
Mm-hmm. It can also be a combination of, right, someone who handles their responsibilities.
Yeah.
When they need to be handled.
But I think that's just adulting.
It is. But as a man, I guess we are seen as the providers.
Yeah.
Right? And responsibilities can stack on top of each other. And there are some responsibilities that we might push to the side.
Yeah.
However, it might take, more of a push for us to handle those responsibilities. Right? And that can be a true test. Right?
I want to say where that push comes from is the partner that you have, though. Yeah. Because your partner can ultimately have you become a better man.
What if you don't have a partner, though?
Then I would say, depending on who you have as a role model, in a sense, if you've had any father figures in your life that kind of show you what a man looks like,
mm-hmm.
That's also healthy. For the people that didn't have that, I think there's, in a sense, there's just people out there, because I can only speak from the point of view of us. Well, not just me, but like going to men's group, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people there that didn't have a father figure in their life,
mm-hmm. but
also being in a social setting like that where it's a group of men and we're discussing our trauma and our upbringing and stuff like that. I think as much as there's the people that have that trauma, there's people that didn't have that trauma. There's mm-hmm. people that was positive all across the board.
Yeah.
So with that being said, they're able to share what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So just being in those social groups, allowing yourself to hear out other people and what they've come from, I think that helps. But ultimately, I'm going to say being that provider is what a man looks like.
Okay.
Provide for himself and his family.
Okay.
But you got to put yourself first. That's one thing I'm learning. You got to put yourself first.
Yeah, you can't pour into someone else's glass if you ain't got no water in yours.
Okay.
That is something I've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Of, trying to help others and trying to bring people along with me. But like I said, you can't.
Not everybody can go.
Not everybody's
gonna make it.
Not everyone's gonna make it, and that's okay. That is all right. There's
some people are in your life for a season, and some for a reason.
There we go. Some people in your life for a season. Some people in your life for
A lifetime.
I messed up the whole line, by the way. I messed up the whole
but
thing.
it is what it is, but because
yo.
you can twist it and turn it as much as you want, but
bro, not
you get the
everyone can
point.
know, man. Yeah, and I think as men, because we are seen as providers, right, we feel like we got to provide to everybody or we got to help everybody, right? And sometimes there's individuals that might not need that help, might not want that help, or you just can't help.
But you know what? I'll say this, and now that I kind of think about it a little bit more, I think with men, it always comes down to we want to get our financial status in check.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing for us because it's almost like, and sometimes I don't know if we're doing it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll say hypothetically I make $300K a year.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, I could go out and I could do, not even in a sense, sorry, I can go out and I could do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to go on a vacation, I can go on a vacation. If I want to drive a certain car, I can drive a certain car.
Mm-hmm.
I can live where I want to live, right? Obviously within those means.
Mm-hmm.
But then once that's in check, it's like, okay, what else can I do, right? And to that, it kind of brings me to a point where, am I letting the money define me as a man?
Shouldn't.
But
that's what it comes down to.
It comes down to that because now I'm looking at it like, okay, I have this money, I can do what I want. I'm a man, right?
So don't make you.
But if you ask, like me and my cousin talk a lot, and I feel like for him, he has done a lot of like soul searching and trying to figure out what it's like, I guess in a sense kind of like to be a man. But I think one of the biggest things for him was fatherhood, right? There's been a lot of things that he's been through, and he's taken a step back and kind of wanted to look at like what he values in life, you know. So he has this, like, I forget the name of the board. It's like a life chart or something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because if you're watching this, you already know what I'm talking about.
Vision board?
It's not a vision board. It's pretty much, it's like you looking at your life and you're kind of like putting what you value from.
Like a depth chart, kind of?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just like it was family, like fatherhood, family, then finances, then personal endeavors, so like things like that, business ventures and stuff, and then the list goes on. But I kind of think it's just a matter of what you value and what certain things mean to you, right? So yeah, there's a lot to it.
Now, what is a man? We can be here for days and talk about that. We can really go in depth about that one. But I just feel like it's based on you as a person, like, and what your responsibilities are, what you have to provide within your family. You might not be to a family. You might have to take care of your parents. You might have to take care of your little sister. You might have to take care of your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa. You never know, right? But as long as you handle those responsibilities, you provide what you have to provide, right? And you do it in a respectful way at the same time too.
Yeah.
And, that shows a great deal of strength, and also you pour into yourself.
Yeah.
And become the best person that you can be and who you are. Definitely a man in that case.
Yeah.
Right?
Being vulnerable.
Being vulnerable, that's a big one. Let's save that for another episode. But yeah, man, right? That's the end of the episode. I think that's a great. I like that. End on that one, bro. But
yeah.
First and foremost, gotta thank everyone for listening and tuning in, man. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, if you subscribe to this, if you follow us, if you're doing your push-ups, come February, if you register for the push-up challenge,
push-up challenge coming out February, so you guys better get a hold on that. Start getting those reps in. You know me, I'm gonna have to get back in the gym.
You're gonna have to get back.
Diamond push-ups, all of that.
Clapping push-ups,
exactly.
all the above. But man, follow us on Instagram, YesI'mBlessed_. Follow us on TikTok at YesI'mBlessed. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Clouded Thoughts. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to us there. If you guys have any questions for us, you can DM us on Instagram or TikTok. you can comment on the YouTube section. You can also email us at info.yesimblessed@gmail.com. But appreciate everyone for listening, for watching. We're here to help. We're here to understand ourselves a lot more too. At the same time, share with you guys, and hope to spread more awareness for men's mental health, because we need it nowadays, especially in the wintertime, because it gets cold, it's dark, it's gloomy. But thank you guys. As you guys already know, I'm Deem.
I'm Ry.
This is the Khaled Thoughts Podcast.
That's a wrap.
That's a terrible.
You know what's
There we go.